I knew I shouldn't have picked that one just before I have to speak. That always gets me right here, especially those last words. I remember being at Soul Survivor when that song was first popular about 10, 15 years ago. And just the euphoria of everyone singing those last words, lifted on high from death to life, forever our God is glorified, servant and king, he rescued the world. This is our God. And it was such an amazing feeling. I'll always hold that with me. But anyway, let's move on. So our theme for what Chris is going to talk about this morning is the media. And first of all, I must apologise if what I'm about to say doesn't make sense. I've had the idea going around in my head for a while, but I wrote all of this down while there was a certain football match on last night. So if it doesn't make sense, I was a bit distracted. And for context, when I was writing this, at this point, we'd just scored our first goal about 3 minutes in. So like I say, when Chris sent me the theme for this week that it was going to be on the media, I was pretty happy because it means that I can wheel out a reference to my absolute favourite TV programme of them all, which, if you don't know by now, is Doctor Who. In fact, at the moment, I'm gradually working my way through every episode from beginning to end, all 862 of them. I started in July last year, and if all goes to plan, I should be finished by Christmas next year. There is a point to this, I promise. So a few weeks ago, in this watch through that I'm doing, I came across one of my favourite episodes because it contains one of my favourite scenes, and it's a clip that we're going to watch in a minute. So to lend a bit of context to this clip, the Doctor, the Brigadier and Sergeant Benton are sheltering in the TARDIS from an organism that has just transported them through a black hole into another universe. And before we do see it, I should apologise to those watching online and for those catching up later. Because the BBC are very strict on their copyright, we can't put this clip on YouTube properly. So hopefully you'll be able to see it and hear it just on the screen behind me. So let's have the clip.
Well, we appear to have arrived.
Corporal Palmer, come in, Palmer.
I don't think you'll get through with that thing.
Why not?
It hasn't quite got the range.
What are you talking about, Doctor? They're only just outside the building.
Brigadier...
Corporal Palmer, do you read me?
I think you should prepare yourself for a bit of a shock.
Can we take a look outside, Doc?
We can try. Well, I never.
Seems to have gone, sir.
Yes, that looks quiet enough. Right, Doctor, if you'll just open that door, I'll see what's going on.
I really wouldn't advise it.
Oh, come along now, Doctor.
Oh, all right. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. I do wish you'd listen to me. Come along, we'd better follow him. Oh, that's extraordinary. That stuff must have found the TARDIS a bit indigestible even without the force field on, so it swallowed a bit of the surrounding matter as well. Rather like taking a pill with a swig of water.
Well, we seem to have got rid of it. Benton, you stay here.
So you think we've moved, is that it, Doc?
Oh, I'm quite sure we have.
Well, where do you reckon we are?
Not where he thinks we are.
Now, see here, Doctor, you have finally gone too far.
I rather think we all have. What's it like out there?
There's sand everywhere.
Oh, splendid. Who's for a swim?
Do you realize what you've done? You've stolen the whole of Unit HQ. Now, what am I going to tell Geneva? That the whole blessed building has been picked up and put down on some deserted beach? We're probably miles from London.
I'm afraid we're a little bit further than that, Brigadier.
You mean we're not even in the same country? There will be international repercussions. This could be construed as an invasion.
It's not just a matter of the same country, sir. If the Doctor's right, we're not even in the same universe.
What? Oh, nonsense, Benton. I tell you, that's a beach out there. It's probably in Norfolk or somewhere like that.
Oh, please, if you'd only listen to me.
Right, now, I'll tell you what we'll do. You two stay here. See that nobody wanders in. We can't have the place overrun with holidaymakers. I'll nip out, find a phone, and tell the authorities exactly where we are. I'm fairly sure that's Cromer. Back in a jiff.
Dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Let's go after him, Doc.
Yes, I suppose we'd better head.
Yeah, one of my favourite clips of the programme forever. I promise you there's definitely a point to this. There are two different reactions in that clip to the situation that they find themselves in. On the one hand, you've got Sergeant Benton, cool, calm, collected, just taking it all in. And on the other hand, you've got the Brigadier, who is in complete denial. He's trying to rationalise the extraordinary situation by choosing to believe that they'd only been transported from London to Cromer. I wonder which of the two you would be. Are you the calm Benton, reacting to each new situation you find yourself in with a measured approach? Or are you more reactionary, like the Brigadier, panicking, trying to deny your reality? I know which one I would probably be. So whilst thinking about that this week, I wondered which people in the Bible would fall into each category. I think Peter is definitely a Brigadier. He always seems to get the wrong end of the stick, trying to rationalise the amazing situations he finds himself in by filtering them through what he knows. I was thinking particularly when he, Jesus, James and John were at the Transfiguration site, rather than immediately falling to his knees and in awe of what had happened, he suggests building some tents for Moses and Elijah so they can have a nice time and have a party on the mountain. Then there's Joseph. He's definitely a Brigadier. When Mary says she'd been visited by Gabriel and told him she was pregnant, he simply didn't believe her. He thought that she'd been unfaithful to him, and it was only when he was visited as well that he realised what Mary had told him was true. When we're put in a situation, we often react to it by overreacting. When God lets us go into a place or puts us in a place that we think we can't handle, we try and argue back. We try and pretend it's not really happening. That's not what we need to do. Don't overcompensate like the Brigadier in that clip. Don't try and deny it. When we're in these situations that we don't understand, we need to ask God to help us to react calmly. We need God's help to not overreact. And just so you're keeping up, at this point, we've just scored our second goal. There's a song that came out a few years ago that we've sung here a few times before lockdown happened, called Oceans, that sums up that situation when we're out of our depth perfectly. The chorus goes like this: "And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine." It's a way to keep us calm in situations we don't understand. When those oceans are coming, when we're transported to an antimatter universe through a black hole, we need to remember that we need to call on God to help keep us calm, to help us wade through the storm, to weather the storm. So next time you find yourself in a situation that you don't understand, try and think, don't be like the Brigadier, don't try and overreact. Ask God to calm you down and teach you to behave more like a Sergeant Benton. Or perhaps, if you're not a nerd like me, try and remember the lyrics of the song. 3-0 England. To help you with that, we're going to listen to Oceans now. Thanks, Mark.